My sister sent me her baby shower registry $12,000 stroller, a designer crib, and even a down payment for a house. I laughed and said, "Absolutely not." He shouted, "Then don't bother showing up." So I didn't. And what happened next had the whole family turning on her. It all started with an email titled, "We're so excited to welcome baby Ethan." My sister's baby shower invitation, complete with pastel fonts, floating teddy bears, and a link to her registry. First I smiled. She'd always been a little dramatic, always loved the spotlight, but baby showers are allowed a little fluff. I clicked the link, expecting to see a few overpriced onesies, maybe an organic bottle set, a trendy mobile. Nothing prepared me for what actually loaded there. It was a $12,000 stroller imported from Sweden, custom embroidery, real leather handle, then a $6,800 crib from some boutique in LA that apparently only makes 5 cribs a year, a $400 wipe warmer, a diaper pail that required its own subscription service, and then at the very bottom, a contribution pool for a down payment on a house. The goal, $100,000, and not a joke in sight. I scrolled twice, then laughed so hard I actually had to sit down. I mean, I make good money, but I wasn't about to blow a paycheck so her newborn could nap in something more expensive than my first car. I honestly thought maybe she'd been hacked, or that her husband, that smug little grifter she married, had gotten control of the registry and turned it into some kind of scam. So I called her. I don't know what I expected. Maybe some laughter and embarrassed. "Oh my God, Barbara, it's just a joke." But instead, she said she didn't appreciate me calling with that tone and reminded me that they were building a life now, that their circle was full of generous people who understood what it meant to invest in family. I told her I'd be bringing a book set and a handmade blanket like any normal human being. She said, if I couldn't support their vision, then I shouldn't bother showing up. Then, and I'll never forget this, her husband grabbed the phone and said exactly this: "If you're not going to be part of the future, then stay in the past." So, I stayed in the past at home with a glass of wine and a warm lasagna. And I didn't send a gift. I figured that would be it. But oh no. 3 days later, I woke up to 3 missed calls, 2 angry texts from our cousin Marie, and a novel-length Facebook post from my sister that started with, "Some people just can't handle when others win." The whole post was a martyr's anthem about fake family jealousy and how they were being punished for dreaming big. I ignored it for a day. Then Jenny, our other cousin, sent me photos from the shower. My sister had gone full influencer mode. Professional photographer balloon arches the size of small buildings. A massive table labeled gift display that apparently remained almost completely empty except for a few gift cards and a couple small boxes. No crib, no stroller. So where did the photos come from? She posted new ones the next day, showing off the entire nursery. Every item from the registry beautifully arranged with a long caption about being surrounded by support. But something was off. The tags were still on everything. It took my brother exactly 5 minutes to figure it out. He reverse image searched the stroller and found it on a luxury baby rental site. You could rent these things for $300 a day. Photo shoots, influencer deals, baby showers. My sister had rented it all, taken the pictures, and returned it the next morning. So now it wasn't just greed. It was delusion performance, a fantasy she wanted everyone to help her act out. That's when I stopped laughing because I knew something she didn't think I knew and I was done playing along. The truth was I kept my mouth shut for too long. My sister's been like this for years. Reckless, entitled, obsessed with appearances. Most people in the family just saw her as a little over the top, a little too into labels, luxury, all that. But I knew better. I knew what she really was. Back in 2020, when she moved back in with mom and dad for a few weeks. She stayed for 6 months. She didn't pay rent, didn't lift a finger. She claimed she was job hunting, but I saw her in the middle of the day on her laptop yelling at some online dealer for rigging a hand. She was gambling constantly, poker, blackjack, sports bets, all of it. She burned through her savings in 3 months. Then she sold her laptop, her jewelry. One night I came home, and she was crying in the kitchen. Said she was in debt. Begged me not to tell mom. I didn't. I covered for her. Even lent her $1,200. That money vanished in 3 days. She told me she was going to pay me back after she hit a streak. But I let it go. I thought maybe she was just lost, but then she started stealing. She transferred money from mom's account, bought something off an app, then returned it for cash. Claimed it was an accident. Mom believed her, said she was under stress, told me not to make things worse, so I didn't. And here we were 4 years later with her pregnant, married, and acting like a Kardashian in the suburbs, demanding tens of thousands from our family for a child that wasn't even born yet. When she posted that fake nursery photo thanking everyone for making her dreams come true, I snapped. I didn't blast her publicly. I'm not like her, but I called Aunt Deb. I asked her if she really planned to contribute to the down payment fund. She laughed and said no, but admitted she thought the whole thing was a bit much. That's when I told her everything. The gambling, the fake gifts, the rentals for Instagram. I told her she wasn't helping a struggling new mom. She was funding an illusion. At first, Aunt Deb was stunned. Then she got angry because she'd already sent them $2,000. It spread fast. Deb told her husband. He told their kids. Within 2 days, 6 different people reached out wanting the full story. This time, I didn't hold back. I was done protecting someone who only ever took advantage of others. And then came the fallout. My cousin Jenny pulled out of the SIP and C. My uncle Rob, who had offered to help with the nursery renovation, suddenly backed out and ghosted her. A few family friends who had RSVP'd suddenly had other conflicts. But the hardest hit came from her husband's side. Her mother-in-law called my mom. Calm, polite, but straight to the point. She said they'd been noticing strange behavior from my sister for months. Money disappearing, odd charges, emotional blow-ups. They hadn't understood what was going on until they heard what I'd told Aunt Deb. That's when they confronted my sister. She broke down, admitted she'd been taking from their account, tried to spin it as stress, even played the pity card, but it fell flat. 2 days later, her husband left. Not for good, at least not yet. He told her he needed space and went to stay with his parents until the baby came. She was humiliated, but instead of apologizing or acting reasonable, she doubled down. She showed up at my house in the middle of the day, unannounced, already mid-rant. She accused me of ruining her life, said I was jealous of her family, and swore everything had been fine until I spread lies. I let her finish, then told her she was lucky I hadn't shared the rest. Because there was more, much more. Last year, she stole $5,000 from Mom, claiming it was for prenatal vitamins and furniture. She blew it in one weekend at a casino in Atlantic City. Mom covered for her, but people were finished covering now. 2 days after my sister screamed at me, Mom finally broke too. She called her and said she wasn't giving her another cent. Then she created a family group chat and sent one message: no more money. If you choose to help her, do it knowing the truth. That was the end.my sister posted a vague quote about betrayal and snakes in the grass on Facebook. 6 hours later she deleted it, probably because no one even commented. But that was just the beginning of her unraveling. Part 3 is where it gets worse. Much worse. After Mom's group text, the silence from the family wasn't just obvious, it was icy. No arguments, no defense, no drama. Just quiet. The kind that comes right before everything shatters. It started with little things. Her college friend Alyssa untagged herself from all the baby shower photos. Her yoga studio coworker, the one she always bragged was like a sister, removed her from close friends on Instagram. The babysitter she'd booked months ahead suddenly canceled with a family emergency. But the biggest break came from her in-laws. Up until then, they had smiled through everything, even that outrageous registry. They stayed quiet. But once they found out about the gambling, the stolen money, the staged photo shoot, they cut her off completely. Her husband started spending more and more time away. He told her it was to keep things calm for the baby. But I knew better. He was building his exit, brick by brick. You could see it in his silence. He wasn't coming back. That's when she panicked. The registry money was gone, burned through in weeks. Most of the things she'd flaunted were never really hers. The luxury crib had already been returned. The stroller? Just a one-day rental for $290. Even the designer diaper bag was back online for resale, tags still attached. Then came Aunt Deb. She emailed, short and sharp. Considering the circumstances, I'd like my $2,000 back. Hope the baby is well. No drama, no explanation needed. My sister didn't reply. The next day, cousin Jenny asked for hers too. Then Uncle Rob. Even Lisa, someone from her husband's side who had never liked our family, demanded her $500 back. My sister ignored them all, maybe thinking silence would make them drop it. Instead, it only got louder. People stopped whispering and started talking openly. Uncle Rob told Mom he'd been ready to help redo the nursery, but after hearing she blew their joint savings on a sure-win parlay bet, he cut her off. He even warned her husband directly. "You need to get out before she drains everything." Then her husband texted me. We'd never had a real conversation before, but now he wanted the truth. He asked if she had a problem. I didn't lie. I told him about the gambling, the hidden debts, even the money she took from Mom's retirement account. I told him how she begged, cried, lied, and then did it all again. He went silent for a few days. Then he left, packed his things, moved in with his parents. He told her he needed space, but what he really meant was legal distance. He'd already started the paperwork to separate their finances. A family law friend was helping him. He wasn't bluffing. That's when she showed up at my door again. No car, no ring. She'd taken an Uber. This time, she didn't scream. She just said she needed help. Said she was scared. No tears, no dramatics. Just empty. Tired in a way that wasn't for show. Real. That I asked her how much debt she had. She didn't answer. Just stared at me, waiting for me to fix it. I told her no, and then the final blow landed. Our uncle, the one who had co-signed a $20,000 private student loan for her years ago, got a call. She hadn't made a payment in months. She told him it was on autopay. It wasn't. Now he was legally responsible for the full balance. He tried calling her. She ignored him. So he called me. He said he was done. No more favors, no more support. She's not just reckless, she's dangerous. 2 weeks later, the baby was born. A boy. Healthy. Perfect. I wasn't there. None of us were. She posted a single photo on Instagram. No filters, no props, just a dim hospital room and a newborn wrapped in a plain blue blanket. No captions, no hashtags, just his name and his date of birth. And for the first time in years, she didn't ask for anything. No gifts, no fund, no second chance. That I thought after the baby was born and her husband left, she'd finally go quiet. But people like her don't. 22 days later, she texted Jenny, "I'm in a better place now. I'd love to reconnect." No apology, just a reset. Jenny blocked her. Then Aunt Deb got a copy-pasted email about a repayment plan, clearly lifted from a bankruptcy blog. She forwarded it to me with one line. "She still thinks we're stupid." Soon came the sympathy campaign. An Instagram photo of the baby on a bare mattress, caption only, comments off. Some neighbors offered help. I told them the truth. She sold what people gave her and spent the cash gambling. That's when I decided to act. I gathered everything: texts, receipts, fake nursery photos, her GoFundMe, a list of debts, and sent it all to her husband's mother. Days later, my sister was served custody papers. The baby went to her husband 3 days a week. She went quiet until she pulled her next stunt, applying for a job at my office. Her resume was full of lies, fake titles, fake experience. My boss handed it to me. I showed him proof. He shredded it on the spot. Not long after, I got a text from an unknown number. "You've ruined everything for me." I blocked it. Then Mom said she saw her at church, sitting alone, no baby, leaving halfway through. For a second, I thought maybe this was rock bottom. Then came the GoFundMe. Goal, $50,000. She used a cropped photo of me holding her baby, twisting it into a story of abandonment and abuse. She wrote that I'd refused to meet the baby, even though the photo was proof I had. Donations poured in. That was the line. I built a file, every lie, every scam, the fake jobs, the custody papers, the registry, the debts, and sent it to GoFundMe. Within 2 days, the page was gone, money refunded. But the fallout spread offline. Some donors were people she actually knew. They reached out. And this time, she couldn't spin it away. When the GoFundMe scam collapsed, her last circle started to fall apart. Even her old yoga teacher posted online about being scammed, and people shared it. That's when she showed up at Mom's house. No makeup, no designer bag, just the baby and a grocery sack. She admitted her husband was pushing for full custody, admitted she was scared. But then she asked Mom to convince me to back off. And Mom told her the truth. "Barbara didn't ruin your life. You did. She just stopped covering for you." The next day, she sent a message to the family chat. Short, quiet, asking for a chance to do better. Most ignored it. A few offered small gestures: baby clothes, toys, prayers. Then came a long email to me about therapy, work, shame, and wanting her son to see accountability. She even wrote she'd save me a seat at every birthday. It almost worked, until I remembered every past apology, every lie, every scam. I deleted it. No reply. The rest of the family slowly let her back in. Jenny dropped off clothes, Aunt Deb toys, Uncle Rob a card with a check for the baby, not you.